Just wanted to show you my new heating thermostat. So it's the Honeywell Lyric T6R thermostat. It's basically for a single zone. They do multi-zone ones. They do the Evohome, which is an amazing system. And this is the wireless version. Not sure why I chose this over the Nest. I think at the time I didn't realise the Nest Generation 3 is now wireless, and I didn't want one that was hardwired to the wall. I now realise that actually the Nest new one is wireless. Maybe I should have gone for that. In fact, this is actually more expensive at basically £200 against £190 for the Nest. But it's not bad. I'm going to give you a quick rundown and show you how it works, and show you how the app works as well as the thermostat. So it comes in this lovely box, and it comes with the actual unit itself, and it comes with the receiver unit that plugs into your boiler or whatever it is you're actually using it with. It will do cooling systems as well as heating systems, and it's also open therm compatible. So if you've got a boiler that's open therm compatible, it's going to work with that to modulate it down a bit, be a bit more efficient. Mine isn't. Mine's a Worcester boiler, so it's not open therm compatible. But actually, I mean, all these features are the same as the Nest at the end of the day, and I'm not sure if I got the right one. So basically, here it is. That's when it's gone into standby. So the main screen goes off, and this is the screen you're going to be looking at. You can see it's actually lit up at the moment because the little flame is telling me it's lit up, and it's telling me what the temperature is of the room at the moment. And at the top there, it's got the current time. So if I just tap the screen, I'll go to the main screen. So just having a look here, it's telling me that the receiver to the transmitter to the receiver is working fine. That's the symbol there. It's telling me the time. That's telling me the Wi-Fi is on and working. And just to let you know, I've seen some comments to say that this doesn't work if the Wi-Fi is down, because it works with the app on your phone or whatever, your tablet or whatever you want to use it with. And if your Wi-Fi goes down, they're saying, oh, well, you can't control your system. You can. I mean, this works as a standalone thermostat if your Wi-Fi is down, if it can't connect to the internet. Because it connects to the Honeywell servers themselves, and so does your phone, and that's how it communicates, how your phone communicates with the thermostat. So it's not a direct connection, except when you actually get it for the first time and you set it up, then you directly connect to the thermostat. But other than that, you're connecting to the Honeywell servers to send information between the two units. So I'll go back to you can adjust that timeout, by the way, but in the settings. So it's telling me that I've got it currently set to 24.5 degrees, and so that's why it's fired up. It's trying to get there. It's currently 23.5, and it's trying to get to 24.5. If I wanted to adjust that, I come down. If I want to adjust it up, I go up. I do like it nice and hot. It's telling I'm on a schedule, so you can actually have this set to use geolocation. So that means that you set your home location, you set a radius around the home, and every time you go outside of that radius, it turns your heating off, and every time you come back in, it turns it on. Well, it doesn't actually turn it on and off. I've just lied to you. What it will do, you set an away temperature. So you set a minimum temperature you want your home to be, and when you go out of the radius, it sets to your home away temperature, and when you come back into that radius, it sets it back to your normal temperature that you would be if you was on when you're at home. When you're away, you set a temperature, and when you set a home temperature. What you can't do is mix and match schedules with the geolocation, which is a bit annoying, but it would be good if you could do it, but you can't. So that's telling me the next change in my schedule is at 10:30. It's telling me I'm on schedule. Now, if I just want to use this manually and not have it go to schedule, I will just press the X. And that's telling me it's now off schedule. But if I want it back on the schedule I set, I click it again, now it's back on schedule. down here is my power button. If I want to turn my heating off altogether and have no thermostatic control, I would just turn it off, but I want to turn it on and I go there. If I want to change any of the options, I click on the options, the 3 lines down there, and that's your basic menu. So you can change your schedule. Now weirdly, I can change the schedule here from daily, so I can have different times for every day of the week, or I can have the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then separate for Saturday and Sunday. What you can't do is just have a 7-day schedule, but you can do when you have the app. So I'll show you in a minute how the app works. And so strangely, some settings are on the app, some are on the thermostat itself. A little bit crazy, but that's how they've decided to do it. So if I wanted to go in and have a look at the schedule and change it a bit, I just click the tick down there, and then I would go in and change Monday, do whatever, but I don't want to, so I'm going to go back. Other options on here are for your Wi-Fi, clean screen. So they've got separate options. So in one area you set whether you want it on what kind of a schedule you want the schedule options on. For instance, do I want it daily? Do I want it 5 and 2? But the actual changing of those timings is in a different place altogether. But it's a lot easier to do this on the app, so I wouldn't even bother changing it there. You can lock the screen so nobody can change any settings. You can semi-lock it so they can only change, say, the temperature, or you can have it off altogether. You can change the language. You set up your clock menu. You can have 24-hour, 12-hour clock. The brightness that you want when it goes into standby. Now, optimize. So if you have it set to optimize, it will learn how long it takes for the home to warm up after you set a certain temperature, and then over time it will know that how quick it takes to warm up. And so if it was particularly cold outside, it knows it needs a longer run-in, so it will come on earlier than you set it, and vice versa. If it's a warm day, it doesn't need to raise the temperature by much, and it will leave it longer. Without the optimize, it will just cut in exactly at the time you've set it. You can have a temperature offset. So if the thermostat is in a room that's kind of out of kilt with the other rooms, so you may be setting basic home temperature all around, say 22, but in that particular room it may be 23. You can offset it by 1 degree to come down, and it just pretends it's a different temperature. So I mean, I find it a bit silly, but some people like to use it. I can reset the whole thing. Device information, and what else? And that's your basic option. So it's really easy to use. It's a bit of a no-brainer, and at the end of the day, the Wi-Fi goes down, it still works as a normal thermostat. So the real controls come in when you start using the app. So I'm going to fire up the Lyric app. So they've got like the Evohome, and they've got this Lyric system, and these are different apps between them. So if you've got this thermostat, you want to make sure you're getting the Lyric app. All their apps seem to have really bad ratings, but it doesn't seem that bad to me. A bit basic, but not too bad. So I've opened up the app. It's telling me that the temperature was, well, when I last had it open, it was 21.5. It takes a while to update the actual temperature, but the most important thing is if I change the temperature now, that's pretty quick to adjust. So if I actually want to turn it right up, say to 24, I hit the 24, and immediately that's changed to 24, and the boiler is fired up. It's pretty quick, considering that it's not a straight connection from the phone to your thermostat. The phone goes to the Honeywell servers, and the Honeywell servers contacts through the internet the Lyric thermostat. So I think that's pretty quick. So it's now fired up. So some of the extra options, first of all, okay, they give you the weather for the next few hours. I don't know if anybody's ever going to use it, but if you wanted to, you'd hit the cloud symbol there, and it's telling me the current temperature and the humidity around where I am now, and it's not very hot. It's 5.4, 5.4, so it's pretty rubbish. And then we've got this little button here where it's got the bright sunlight. Now that's telling me that it's the system is currently on, it's calling for heat. Well, basically, even if it wasn't calling for heat, it would be on, but the system is on, ready to call for heat. So if I wanted to turn the boiler off altogether, well, via the thermostat, so that it's never going to call for heat no matter what the temperature is, I'd just go to the off button, and now it's telling me it's off. So the thermostat isn't going to be having any effect at this point. So you just leave it on, turn it back on to the heat, and then now see it's calling for heat. Best way to change your schedule is not via the thermostat, it's via here, because you get the extra option of being able to do it by the same times every day, rather than have your Monday to Friday and then a separate one for weekends or a different one for each day. The option for same every day is only via the app. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's really easy to use. So at the moment there's like 1, 2, 3 schedule, 3 different parts of the day. You can have up to 6 different time zones for the day. Really easy to use. I just go to add another time. I don't want to create a new schedule. I just want to add a period. So of course I need to cancel that. That was the wrong button. What you want to do is add a period. If I wanted to change the whole schedule or the way I've got the schedule, that's what I'd use the plus button. But just to change, add in another period here, add a period. So I may want to start it at 12 p.m. and which is noon, and finish 11 p.m. Well, whatever. So let's change that. Let's have that end at. After that first. Yeah, no, it took a little bit of time there. Normally it's pretty good actually. So we're going to say, okay, start at 12, but then end it at, say, 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. And I want the temperature to be 90.5 at that point, and I save it. And now we've got the extra period in there, so you can get up to 6, so that was really easy. So, yeah, this plus button, actually, if you wanted to, say, turn it to geofencing or to a different kind of schedule, that's where you'd go. So if I want to create a new schedule, and as you can see, it's telling me I can do it by location, which is their geofencing, or I can do it by time, but you can't do it by both. So you couldn't have, if you left home, in the morning, a different temperature than if you left home in the afternoon. It's always going to set it to your away temperature. So if you're going to use geofencing, that's where you'd go. But I'm not going to change anything at the moment. If I want to look at my geofencing settings, if you come up here to the main settings, and right at the top there is your geofence, you're going to make sure it's turned on, and that's where you can set your radius. So it seems pretty unlimited, the maximum radius. Just the minimum radius is, there is a minimum you can't go below, but the maximum seems pretty much whatever you want. So if I wanted to actually increase my home radius, so the point is, if I'm inside this radius, it's always going to be on in the home, and if I go outside that radius, it's going to turn the temperature in the home to whatever I've set as the away temperature. If I wanted to increase that distance, I need to do that. The map will just keep changing, and so I can keep making that area bigger and bigger. It doesn't seem to be any sort of limit to that. We just keep going till basically I'm in the sea. So yeah, you can do it that way. The funny thing about this is you can't set the geolocation to any location other than where you are at the moment. So you can't you can't put in your an address and say you're going to set that as a temperature. I mean, it's not that you're going to be moving home. It's just that you may want to change the settings when you're somewhere else. You can't. You can only change that geofencing center to be where you are at that point. So if I wanted to change that to another, if I've moved home or someone else has got a thermostat, whatever, I'd have to go up there and set a new geofencing center. So I don't know why they do that. It also seems a bit daft. I'm not going to save any of the settings, and I'm going to come out of that. Do I want to save? No. I don't. Will your changes will not be saved? So cancel, yes. Come back out here. Say your alerts, your manage users. Obviously, everybody in the home needs to be registered on the system, otherwise it won't know who the last person out was, and it'll just be turning it on and off even when people are in the home. So you'd go to there and you'd add each user and you'd add the phone, so then the system can keep tally of who's home and who's not. So first one home, it's set to home temperature, last one away, it's set to away temperature. Location details, that's actually just your home address, and it doesn't use that for geofencing. Absolutely crazy. If you're going on holiday and you don't want to be bothered to just turn the system off at the off button, you can just say go into your holiday settings and tell it you're going away from and coming back to. Whether you want really that information loaded on the Honeywell servers, it's entirely up to you. That seems a security nightmare to me, but you can change the name of the thermostat. Makes no difference, does it, really, what you call it? Your app settings, my account, message, so not a lot else. It's quite basic, but that does mean it says basically it's very easy to use. As I say, this will still work without any internet, even without connection to the app. This thermostat will still work, but it's quick to work with the app. If I turn that on and I change the temperature again, so if I want to turn that back down to say 22.5, so it's responded straight away. So yeah, I mean it's basic, but it works. Although I'm kind of thinking I should have gone with the Nest. You know, it's flashier. I think it looks nicer. Certainly got the better reviews. You know, they're much of a muchness really, except that this is slightly more expensive. They do a hardwired version, which is cheaper, but it's horses for courses at the end of the day. What I like is that I can plug it in anywhere. It would have been nice off batteries, but I don't have to worry about the batteries running down this way. But yeah, if it had an internal battery, which they do on some of their other models, it would have been nice. But it's not bad. I just wonder if it would have been better off with a Nest. Anyway, just giving you a quick look. Somebody might be interested in that, so I hope you enjoyed it.